Do you think it's fair, like, if a woman isn't traditional, so kind of related to how she dresses, if she doesn't dress traditional, the guy shouldn't pay for the first date? Is that a fair proposition?
I feel like clothes have nothing to do with that.
Being traditional? So like your ass out, you're wearing a hooker's uniform?
I just feel like a man would pay either way and go about his day and never talk to her again if she was wearing revealing clothes. Like, I'm still going to be a man. I'm still going to pay.
Well,
I just don't want to talk to you
that might
again.
happen. I guess the question is more so should.
Did the man see her photos before they went on the date? Because if he did, then if he asked her out,
where did they
pay
meet?
for it.
That's different.
Yeah, you kind of knew what you're getting into.
Well, if I you don't dress like that, and then you show up like that, I might leave, because you're putting me
don't
in
even sit
harm's
down
way.
and eat. You don't even have to pay now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you show up looking like that, I might leave, because women don't realize when you dress like that, you put a man in harm's way, because somebody might catcall, somebody might grab you, and he gonna have to do something. He could lose his life defending you because you want to come outside looking crazy. It's true. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just about controlling you. It's about keeping civilization all right. You know what I'm saying? Women got to stop dressing so crazy. Men are very aggressive, man. Like, you don't. It's like walking around a cave of lions with meat hanging off you. Are you going to be mad at the lions? Like, that's their nature. Not saying that men are just wild, uncontrollable beasts, but it's like mental health is real today. As you know, people are out of their minds. The littlest thing can take them over the top. Cover yourself up. It's a lot of lonely men, a lot of depressed men. You walking around with just a group of women with your whole body exposed is dangerous. And it's also dangerous for the men in your life, because they got to put their life on the line to protect you from something that was extremely preventable.
I do want to say, I think it's kind of ridiculous to say that that's their nature to be that way, because if you are, you know, I don't want to say normal, if you're a grown-up human being and you don't have any type of mental illness or, you know, something like that, that shouldn't be your nature.
Are you talking about men?
I actually think that's men's nature.
Men, women,
though.
it doesn't matter.
I didn't say abusing them is the nature. I'm
Yeah.
saying reacting to your sexuality is the nature, not being crazy.
That's not your nature.
It is a man's nature.
I wouldn't say that it's someone's natural instinct to
It's a man's nature to react to a woman's sexuality. Like y'all just said, when I dress provocatively, what happens? More men subscribe, right?
If I was in a tight dress and I came in here, would you naturally catcall me?
No, I didn't say catcall, but I would look.
But you said that was in their nature.
It is.
Looking
It
is way different than being catcalled or touching.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Catcall, whatever word you want to use, it is in a man's nature to address your sexuality, whether it be extremely or whether it be subtly. It is his nature to respond to your sexual energy.
Because I was going to say, like, even if you look into, like, not to compare us to, like, literal animals, but if you look at animals, the men will always go to the woman. Like, it's just in their nature to...
Biologically.
Just like it's in a woman's
to approach
nature,
women, so...
Just like it's in a woman's nature to acquiesce to his prosperity. Am I going to say that a woman is wrong for that? No. If you're out here showing that you got that bread, you can't be mad when women want to see, okay, would you spend some on me? Hey, I would like that, sir. That's women's nature. Women are hypergamous and men are visual creatures. That's just life. And I think the modern time, we so caught up in people's feelings that we disregard science and biology. Some things are just what they are. And you can fight with it all you want, but it's only going to be at your own peril.
You said that you're religious, right?
No, I'm spiritual.
Spiritual. So, my thing to a lot of men who use spirituality or religion as a way to say, well, this is just in our nature, or this is what we're supposed to do. It says in pretty much, because all of the connected religions, so that would be Catholicism, Christianity, Judaism.
I don't mean to interject, but I said not science and biology. I didn't say religion.
Okay. Mine is just like a little thought off of that.
Okay, go ahead.
All of these connected religions, including, you know, Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, Judaism, it says directly in the text that if a man cannot look away, or if he must react to a woman and how she is dressed, that he should gouge out his eyes. It
also says that women are to dress modestly.
It does.
And that women are to acquiesce to men and dress modestly as they acquiesce to men.
But is modestly maybe... that can be subjective, right? There's no definition for what modest is.
because there's specific instructions, like covering your head at church, not wearing men's clothing. There's all sorts of different actual especially in Islam. Islam is very much hyper-specific on dress codes, but so is Christianity. And for instance, Orthodox Christianity has roughly 2,000 years of dress code enforcement when it comes to church and how people are supposed to dress, not dress, and what the standard for modesty is. It's set down from an ecclesiastical authority.
But
so
do we have
it's
photos?
not like these things are unclear, right?
Do we have
Go ahead.
photos, or is it just kind of descriptions, though? Like, it is to a certain extent.
No, it's descriptive. Like, yeah, your dress must cover X, and you must have a head covering when you're doing X thing. And yeah, it's very, very, very specific. It's not something which is. I understand what you're saying. You're saying this can be subjective, so this could be up to what does modest mean? My version of modesty, your version of modesty are going to be two different things. That argument would work, I think, in this case, except for the fact that we have such very clear descriptors. So in this case, we just have very clear descriptors inside of these religions, what modesty is and what the ethical foundations for that are and why it's done.
But what about translated texts? Because the Bible wasn't written in English.
The
neither
Bible
was
is
the
one of the
Quran.
the Bible is one of the most hyper-specifically translated texts in human history. It's been gone over by every scholar on planet Earth multiple times. We know exactly what it says, why it says it. We know going all the way back to the original Council of Nicaea, and before that, exactly what the intents were, because they wrote them down. We have thousands of religious scholars who all agree on what these texts say. This is not. There isn't any other text on planet Earth which has been more well studied and researched than biblical text. Nothing.
Well, it is well studied and it is researched, but there's still plenty of people who have conflicting opinions about it.
Well, here's the thing. There's a
I'll be
reason
changed
for
just a
this.
sec.
You are correct. There is a reason why there are conflicting opinions, but this comes from the Protestant Reformation. And once you get into personal exegesis, you can make a biblical text say whatever you want, essentially. But if you're talking about an actual standardized Christian church like Orthodoxy or Catholicism, no, these are what you're talking about are called innovations, and they stay away from innovations for a reason. Innovations are against the religious text.
But
Other way.
these men that typically say that they want a modest woman and that they, can't help themselves, but a woman if she is dressed provocatively.
Well, I think that's a very bad straw man of the position. I don't think anybody said that.
Nobody said that.
Well, I'm not saying he said that, but I'm saying that.
Oh, why would I respond to a position nobody has, though? You see what I'm saying?
Can
Can I
finish my thought?
interject? Oh, go ahead.
Thank
Well,
you.
hang on. Let's finish our exchange real quick. We're almost done.
Okay.
Go.
All I was saying is that if we're talking about those men, it also says in those texts that you shouldn't mix different textiles. It says that there's so many different rules, but we're only following some of them. These
clarifications are made via Pentecost, the New Covenant. There's descriptors for exactly why these rules are in place and not in place. And these have been endlessly gone over 2,000 years of debate within the church, multiple councils which have ruled on them. This is definitely not up for interpretation as to whether or not you can mix cloths. I mean, that's been done away with since since time for God.
Yes, but if we're talking about clothes that should be worn that have been said that that this is how a woman should dress, this is how a man should dress, and all of these different rules that we have, and more religious men are kind of saying, well, I'm not going to treat her well or whatever it is because of how she's dressed, or maybe that's provocative to me. What are they dressed like? How are they living their life by that same religious text? Is it hypocritical, or are they living exactly how it says?
Well, yeah,
that they
I
should
think
live?
that they're not supposed to dress promiscuously either. Men aren't.
Exactly.
But when you're talking about male dress codes, I mean, for the most part, to be perfectly honest and frank with you, only in the Western world do you see this phenomenon at all, for the most part. And it has to do a lot with women's liberation. But men very much don't really dress provocatively. I mean, they mostly walk around completely covered head to toe. Most men do this. The men in that room are dressed covered head to toe. All of them, right? I am too, and I'm comfortable in my own basement, and I'm still covered head to toe. And one of the reasons for that is it's a matter of respect, right? So men also show each other respect this way. And also, if you want to see what a respectable man looks like, generally speaking, they're not out with their flip-flops on, looking terrible, this type of thing. That's not something which we respect very much. So ultimately, I think that I think that that's a really not a great point. If you're looking at men and saying, well, what about the standard for men's dress? I just don't see this sea of men dressing provocatively anywhere.